as good as goes.
English accent is not getting better.
Very tight, so I have to be careful. Okay, hi, my name is Frank Olszewski. I'm the CTO and VP of Official Services for HD Supply. I'm here today to talk about a little bit of SAP, but first I would like to start about our company. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
A little bit closer?
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Perfect, there we go. So a little bit about HD Supply. We are an industrial distributor here in the North American part. We're one of the largest ones. Our core business is three divisions that we have. One is water and infrastructure. That's called everything that goes in pipe in the ground. Water hydrants, all the way to basically measuring your consumption on your site of your building. The second part is construction industrial, white cap, everything to do with concrete building, from streets or housing to parks and all stuff. That's where we are coming part. And the last part that we are going to talk and focus on today about is facility maintenance. It's a maintenance, repair, and operations part for multifamily, large housing and support of this environment. They are running SAP since about 2007. We went through quite a few transformations. Last year I was here and I presented about how we went to virtualization, why we virtualized, and we go a little back around this one. But the next question comes, of course, when you virtualize, what's the next step for you? Where do you want to go? What it is? So we developed with support of VMware as a partner, a journey and a vision how we move over the next 18 to 24 months into the hybrid cloud. So just a little bit about the business itself. We're having 2 data centers. We're running a large SAP environment. Basically every acronym SAP has, we probably have in our data center. On the side, we're running a large EBIS environment, so you can work from our webpage with SL, with a large call center. So our business is about 50-50, come from the user side and the other side from the call center environment. Of course, we have any kind of mobile apps to find out how much you can save on light bulbs when you can switch to LED lights, to where's my order, fencing and all this good part. We have an EPS environment, close integration with our customers and our vendors on this side. And of course we have on the cloud CRM side managing our workforce opportunities and all stuff. So it's a very heterogeneous environment and very focused on SAP. So when we virtualized, we found out that just implementing the hypervisor and consolidating, underutilized servers with lots of systems with a factor 1 to 10. So on the server we're running about 10 systems these days. We had so much more advantages of it. We're using SAP Landscape Virtualized Optimization for system refreshes, for system starting and up and down. Every one of us had the opportunity that the basis guy shut down the wrong system on your basis system, your ERP system went down because someone hit the wrong screen. With Virtualized Landscape Management, it tells you, are you really sure you want to bring this production system down? You shouldn't bring it down because it's during business hours, so these kind of operations. We're getting optimized system copies with space optimized systems, so we don't copy the entire landscape anymore, we're just copying disk optimized copies. But what's really interesting for us is we reduced a significant amount of servers over the last 18 months. I think I moved out about 300 physical servers out of the data center. But I increased my amount of systems because we're growing, we need more app servers, there's another application, there's suddenly pops another HANA system, whatever is in the environment. But the server count went significantly down. What we also found out is we can do best practices so much better and easier. You want to do a test, a patch, and upgrade, you snap, you upgrade, it doesn't fall work, you fall back. If you want to test something in real life, you copy your production system, you test it, and then you just drop it again. It's very simple with a virtualized environment. What we also did, for example, is a proof of concept of our storage environment. We are traditional tier 1 large storage, very expensive, millions of dollars in investment, and we wanted to find out is that still the right way for us. So we were able to test 7 flash storage solutions combined. We're always copying a system over from one to the next, and do the same test over and over. It was Oracle back, red testing, performance testing, and we could find out about 7 large and really interesting flash solutions, which one was right for us within about 4 to 5 months. If we would have done as a traditional setup, on servers, always building this environment would have taken weeks, months. We just moved system to systems, rolled back, moved to the next one, tested always the same scenario on different flash arrays. So it's very interesting. So that's where we were. I just threw some colors in here just to give you an idea how diverse our environment is. Our production environment is just the production environment. We have about 12 large DB servers, 512 gig of memory. Some of them have 3 or 4 SAP applications running, some only have 1. So the core ERP is just one box, but I use all the functionality of high availability, vMotion, all this kind of stuff in this environment. Some are a little smaller. We have every acronym of the suite you can imagine. CRM, SCM, PI, PO, Live Cache, Web Dispatcher, everything what's all the BW, APO systems, completely. We have roughly about 64 virtualized app servers in the front end, all typically about 8 CPUs. And some of my app servers are really big for batch processing and real-time time. They're running again on 4 cores with 24 CPUs, lots of memory to run the batch processing. As an overall organization, right now it's HD Supply, not just facility maintenance. We have about 180 virtual servers, still 470 physical, and about 1,700 virtual systems right now running this one. So we are about 80% virtualized overall landscape. By the end of this year, it will be by 90-91. And this is probably what I put in red here. This is probably our biggest issue and our biggest problem. A large production landscape consumes about 100 terabytes. We have 5 cores in those ones. We use a tremendous amount of storage. Stage, QA, training, development, sandbox, and there's a test system. So that's why our storage testing amounts of this DB and stuff. Snapshot optimized copies is also something. So what we do for us, saving storage. New to us is we just put in a data model, HANA data model on 1 terabyte, fully virtualized, it's running really well. So we're doing a lot of analytics in this one. So overall, the actual SAP landscape from dev to stage to production is about 95% virtualized at this point. 2 weeks from now, it will be 100%. This is roughly how our landscape looks today. We have 3 large clusters, 2 are focused exclusively on database, mostly because we want to make sure the virtualization that we control our licenses, our Oracle licenses. There's some requirements that you have to fulfill. We have large DB servers, 4 processor machines, minimum 512. They have lots of network connections. On the back end, 10 gig, just to make sure we can do emotions, backups, all that good stuff. We have app server to database servers, high pipes for 10 gig. And then to the end customer, we're still doing some of you 1 gig and 10 gig, depending on where we are. We still have these 2 systems here that will be virtualized in the next 2 weeks to move on the other side. So now you have this system where you see applications, you see database servers, you see network. So the big question for us comes now, how do we get to here? Right, I mean, that's the part of the real question. How do we actually go in the cloud, and why are we going in the cloud? It's probably also a very important question. And for us, as a cloud, especially on premises, I want to serve my customer faster and better. I want to give them more opportunities. I want to give them more systems faster, better, and more access what we have today. And it is not necessarily by reducing cost, but I want to make sure that with my current cost level, I can give them way more than they have been before. That's actually our focus. I want a very lean staff. We're managing large systems with a very pure system, so it's not the amount of money that I can pay off, but I can make sure that I grow the lower rate from my cost perspective than my business is selling. So that's our main focus. Besides that, we want to still all the other cloud features. It's scalable, it's metered, it's shared, it's elastic. I can bring down systems, shut down systems. I can focus more on the normal operations, and when it's going to spike and months and closing, year and closing, or special operations. And the elasticity, I can add spin on app servers or get more capacity as needed. So that's our main focus where we want in the cloud. And at some point, probably 18 months from now, we're also moving this into the hybrid and using some other tools. So let's talk a little bit about our journey, how we got there. In 2007, we started, like everyone else, we had robust Unix hardware. Big, fast, awesome, no questions. but they were very expensive. Let's start with that. They were very expensive. They were hard to maintain. It was not easy to move systems around. What we also had is, for us, a big part is frame-based replication. So the DR was for us an issue. We couldn't really recover as an entire entity. So you have a CRM system, you have an EBIS system, you have a PI system, and you have an ERP system. They always have to be in sync. When you do frame-based replication, the first copy is 5 minutes behind, the next copy is 5 minutes ahead, the next one is 20 minutes behind, so we never could link them back together. So when you recover on the other side, your systems are out of sync, and then you have to do BW for replications again, PI, you never know if your order for the EBIS system made in the ERP system, so you have out of whack. So that was one of the big ones for us to think about something. So we moved at some point to the Linux environment, and we were early adopters. We moved our smaller systems over to the CRM system. Everything went fine. Then the big system came over. We realized that we had no idea what we were doing at that time because the systems were so busy. Linux was not completely ready. It took us about 6 months to get there, have everything ready. But we were still missing good insight of the system, performance, calibration. There was some stuff just missing, so we had to buy some third-party tools. And one of the biggest part we found out is the high availability was a big issue for us. So at that point, in 2013 to 2015, virtualization came out. The systems are faster, the virtualization software took less cream from the top, we could actually put in our large systems on this one. That's where we started moving over into virtualization. We moved all our SAP systems, first non-production systems, and then production systems over. We got great load balance in the system, we reduced the server count, we had high availability, we had vMotion, customers didn't even notice when we moved it from one server to the other. The operations was just much longer up and running, so that was a very big hit. And we moved also our process from the DR side, as we actually go from databases rather than from disk applications, so we could recover consistent everyone to the same time. Let's say the out is at 1050, so we could recover everyone to 1040. Everything was in sync, so that was a good part for us as well. And last but not least, now where we are right now is how do we get into the cloud? So we started working with. We realized that the hypervisor is not everything. There's so much more to VMware. What VMware as a partner can help us out. So we realized suite for automatic provisioning, on-demand, pipeline metering, inside log viewing is a huge advantage for us. We're sizing really now for average, not for peak anymore, so we can spin up and spin down as we need to. We can have a software-defined network where we go a little bit later on this one, which helps us a lot. And of course, the integration at some point with the cloud storage like AWS or Google or on the other side. So that was our journey. And so when we started working with VMware and say, oh, let's be a partner, let's be a real partner. Not only just looking what products we're talking about, how can they help us? We looked first and said, let's put our business goals and see how they align individually with what VMware can offer us. First is, of course, our growth and sustainability, and let's keep back that we want to have a consistent, always available data center, a fast data center support. It's nothing worse when you call in the call center anywhere in the world and say, oh, I'm sorry, sir or ma'am, my system is really slow today, and you wait 10 seconds and 3 seconds system. So we need to make sure that the system has 300 milliseconds response time as an SAP system, so that our customers will be served very fast. Same on the EBIS side. It's nothing worse. You go in the site and say, oh, your real-time pricing is not available today, or your catalog is not correctly uploaded. So we want to make sure that this is always available. This helped us in this one. The next one is our business changes. We have merger acquisition, we have divestitures, we change org structures. We need a solution that helps us to reflect this. Software-defined network in this part, and the resiliency of the landscape is was our strategies environment. The next part, efficiency and outsourcing, restoring streamlined data. We really want to make sure that my landscape always runs optimally. So tools like Log Insight Viewer, where you can see you have about 20,000 events in my system every second, every minute. And that's normal, and that's completely okay. But what happens if you only have 10,000 events? Something must be wrong when you have 50,000 events in the system. That's where you get suddenly a bit proactive and say, if something like this happens, let me drill down which system impacted, what the overall impact is. That's where it's getting really interesting. And the last, of course, is the security. We all live on the stretch of security breaches and all stuff, and at some point it will happen. What we're trying to do is, when you get exposed for whatever reason, that you don't expose your entire data center. You want to make sure that you maybe hit one little pocket, but you don't hit the entire data center. So if you hit my POS system, you have to hit POS, but you cannot hit the So we came up with an idea of how to implement this over the next 18 to 24 months. Basically, it's still the virtualization standardization we've been doing in stabilizing the system, bringing the VMware put some automation in there, like automatic spin-off and spin-up of systems with nagging functionality. Do we really need this system anymore? Or can we take it down so we can stay nimble? High availability, especially the SRM functionality to our data center side, so they replicate it on CCH on their side, we are ready on the same stuff. Then of course the upper infrastructure of delivery automation. So developers come in, their new release, they can spin up a release for them, they can test on every Explorer there is out on the market, so they can see if everything is working, then we spin it down again, so it's on the market. But if you add something just a little more to it, then you get something pretty amazing. So if you add software-defined data center with software-defined storage and software network, suddenly you have your own private cloud, the secure private cloud. And that's where we want to be in the next 12 to 18 months. So maybe give you a little idea, because this journey is not just SAP, and it cannot be just SAP, but it's a key driver to a lot of stuff. So we want to be on the virtualization, we want to have the fully compute virtualizing, so we think we will achieve somewhere 91 to 90%, 92% by the end of the year. We have the software side storage somewhere defined, so if it's a vSAN or some other solutions, we want to see how this works out and we can move it to the data center so it's virtualized. Performance management and capacity management, the helps part is really the lock inside here helps you to see what your systems are. It gives you ideas all the way. You see an IP address is forgot to figure out. The IP address is related to postman. The postman is related to an application. The application is only related to the user. And then you get the full picture where you might have a problem. And you want to see how your baseline is. Once you divert from the baseline, you know there's something wrong in the system. You can work it much faster before you actually get the call from the user that SAP is slow. Application infrastructure, we want to get more of it as a service, so people can really spin this up and spin it down as they want to. And then later, probably 18 to 24 months, somewhere in the hybrid cloud, and moving this way further. The mobility part is something really important for us at this time. And I think all the other ones is, with Windows 10, we have a VDI solution. We have the opportunity to take the data all the way away from the desktop or from the notebook. It's least at the minimum away from the notebook. So I don't have to encrypt the notebooks anymore. I don't have to be concerned that someone steals my data, because they're actually not on the notebook anymore. They're either way protected by Windows standard, says you're not allowed to write to the C drive or the USB drive, and they're located in VDI, similar as vSAN located storage. And that is really a huge impact to save and protect your data. You can log it from your hotel room, you can log it from your notebook, you can log it from your telephone, whatever you want to appreciate. This is where I think that's where we can protect our environment. So that's where we are going on. Then the last in this part is what are we actually working on right now on the big side. And this is actually our BW system. So that's here, talking to our vendors, we're working on this one. So let me start a little bit about the journey on our BW system. BW itself is about 15 terabytes right now system. When we did the first one, this BW and Hana, it came back and said, you need this many wide systems, 4, 5, 6 systems, 1 terabyte, this high, costs you millions of dollars just on hardware. So you get excited because no one can afford that. My boss is already shaking his head. So what are we doing and how are we going? So it's a long process over the last 12 months where we're going in with archiving in the system, nearline storage, and so on, nearline storage. With archiving in ADK, we're making sure that our ERP systems allow the BW system, that the systems are closed here, the archiving works in the ERP system, the BW. And suddenly you come down to a system that was after archiving, suddenly down to 6, 7 terabytes. And now when you with compression of factor 4, you're down to 2 terabytes in memory, 3 terabytes in memory. Suddenly your BW landscape looks completely different. You want to go completely virtualized, about a little bit about 3 terabyte systems, large ecosystem machines, fully virtualized on VMware, hopefully. But and then it will bring us and completely again the same functionality we have in every system. The systems are completely aligned. I can use landscape virtualized management to copy and replicate the environments again down to the stage and the QA system, and I can also manage them very simply and and change system, including dedo, compression, everything by the flash area, everything in the office here. So that's a journey that I'm focused right now for the next 2 days here. One is our partners to get this realized. And that's where we are. It's a fully virtualized TDI landscape. We're building it ourselves. We just use certified products, and it will be fully delivered here.
You say 50 terabytes or 15?
15 terabytes. That was 15 terabytes. So. I didn't hear.
15 ended up between 3 and 4 ultimately.
At the end of the question was 15 terabytes. Yes, it's about a factor of 3 to 4, depending on how you store it and what is stored. But that's the compression as HANA offers you in this area. But it's still not enough. Especially when we started a year ago, we didn't have the hash-rate processor yet. It was still bought one, so you could only go up 2 terabytes. So that was already, so we always had to run scale out. And with the hash-rate, we can go up 4 in the BW stack. And so we have now the capacity to go there and the capacity to grow on this one. So that is a huge advantage for us.
Is that a big risk, 3 terabytes with your VMware with the 4 terabyte limit, not to do scale out, scale up?
So the question is, 3 terabytes is a 4 terabyte limit. Once you're in the system, you can always, at the end, you can always scale out if you have to. There's no limit. You can say, okay, I shrink the system, how do I go scale out? 1, 2, 3. But at the same time, processing power, SAP with your new Skylake processor, there will be more enhancement. The core to memory relationship changes with 24 cores on the chip. So there's high expectation that SAP will also go more from 4 to 6. So we just expect that the technology will grow as it has always been, and we grow with this one. And the second one is we will continue doing aggressively archiving with nearline storage. So this means everything 18 to 24 months will be out of my system in nearline storage. So it keeps me also slim and honest on that side. Okay. So that was much of it.
Dynamic tiering at all?
Yes, we're definitely going to do dynamic tiering. That's capable available with, I think, S10 or 9 or 10. So that's what we're going to do. Just in order, because not everything has to be in memory. So you want to save in parts. So that's also something where we can save as well on this part. Any more questions? Thank you so much. Again.
So hi there. So if you'd like to hear more around the new vSphere 6 announcement, then follow me. And I give you more details to give you information like Frank just mentioned around the BW virtualization of HANA. So just follow me and then
feel free to let me know and I'll guide you in the right direction. Thank you so much, everyone.
So what I'd like to give you now is we have a very exciting announcement. A very exciting announcement around the vSphere 6 SAP HANA support statement. Now we are able to support up to 4 terabyte HANA instances running as a single HANA VM running on the vSphere stack. So what Frank just give you in this customer presentation, which was really great and nice to watch, it is this virtualization roadmap he just laid out. And this roadmap, for instance, is also including how it's going to virtualize the ASUG database stack. And with now this 4 terabyte announcement, we are now able to support database sizes for up to 4 terabyte on a single VM spaces. And I think it's one of the great achievements of this year for us as VMware and SAP together. And what does it bring for the customer? It means, first of all, large database sizes. But the most important thing is the standardization of IT processes, like HD Supply just outlined. We have a data center where not only SAP HANA runs on, but there is also in a data center. And by virtualizing now even, let's say, the largest HANA databases, which we think is around 65 to up to 70% of the customer base, we can now virtualize on our environment. We can standardize all the IT processes. But by this, we also can now unify, for instance, the HA solution. the HA solution normally is very tricky to implement. It means all the applications, the specific HA solutions. But with if you let's just build the environment on top of VMware HA, you have a unified environment which gives you some great TCO achievements, and where you can just let's say drive down the operational burden cost. With this, if you need more information, then just go to the blog site from VMware, where you can find all the details of the support, what we have announced. You find also some detailed size information on HANA. So just Google and look at the SAP HANA blogs on VMware, and also visit us on our booth. The booth number here is 635, and we are more than happy to answer all of your questions. With this, I end this session, and thank you from SAP SAPPHIRE. My name is Eric Rieger. I'm a global solutions architect from VMware. I'm very happy to support you with all the questions. Thank you. Bye.